I always worry when I do this because I feel like I mess something up. But I think that we're live. Hi, everybody.
Okay. I mean, it felt like you were doing the intro. You might as well.
No, hold on. I'm trying to make sure that we are actually on the thing because like I don't want to do the intro and then have to kick it away. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me just open it up. And still says we're offline.
I got ads, bro. I don't know. Twitch got me. So 6, 5, 4. I'm watching Watch Dogs Legion. Can't wait for that one. Oh boy.
I mean, I'm on the site right now. Like,
we're good. We're up.
What?
I promise. You got to click the name.
All
I don't
right,
know why it's like that.
right.
I don't know why it's like that.
All right, we're up. All right, so intro. Welcome back to another episode of Y'all Gaming, where we ask y'all the more important questions about life is y'all gaming. So I'm TK, this is Coney. We're going to talk about a couple things today. First thing we decided to talk about will be the Cyberpunk delay, also the crunch culture, and then of course fan gaming questions, which I see a lot of y'all are actually arguing in there about stuff, which is kind of interesting. But we'll get to that soon enough. Anyway, I'm TK, it's Coney. Coney, how you doing?
Hey everybody, how's it going? Yeah, it's been pretty dry. Cyberpunk got delayed today to the dismay of many a gamer all over the world. But as the only show on the internet that asks, "Are y'all gaming?" we had to make sure that you guys knew about it and see what you thought about it. I certainly have my opinions, and I don't think that they're unique opinions, but I do think that there's something going on. But first things first, let's just explain it.
Wait. First things first, though.
What's up?
What have you been gaming? What have you been gaming on lately?
I have been playing Mario Picross.
Okay.
Which is a Japanese-only game on the Super Nintendo, which they put on the eShop. So I've been rocking that out. And then I also played Mickey Mania for the Super Nintendo, which is a lot easier than I remember. Do you remember that game?
No. But
yeah,
since you're going to go back, have you or will you beat that Lion King game that was impossible?
No, I never. Absolutely not. I hate that game.
Okay.
I owned that game as a kid, and I never got past... I think I got past the Stampede once or twice, and then I never did it again. But you know what's crazy? Back in the Brawl days, there was a player that was, like, godly at it. I don't think it was J-Rugs. I don't think it was Drugs, but it was somebody like him, and they were like... Was it... It wasn't Combo Knight. No. That one... Combo Fiend? Was there a Brawl player named Combo Fiend?
There's a Brawl player...
There was a Brawl player with some, I don't know, but we went to his house and he owned the game. I was like, dude, that game was hard. He's like, I can beat it in 30 minutes. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, I could beat it right now. And he did it without dying once. And he wasn't like speedrunning it, but it blew my mind. But yeah, I hate that game. It's not fun.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, if it sucks, it sucks, you know?
I hate it.
Sucks. I just got a key for this Ghost Runner.
Oh, you got a key for that?
Yeah. So I might actually get in there eventually. I didn't. Well, not even eventually. Maybe tonight, because I wasn't. I thought I was gonna run out of games to play, and then right as I say that, Ghost Runner is like, haha, you thought?
So I forgot that was coming out.
Yeah. I mean, I see Elspeth playing it, and I was like, Ghost Runner, but yeah, no. I'm like, I went to go check and see if my keymailer gave it to me, and lo and behold, here we are with Ghost Runner. So, yeah, but anyway, I've been gaming on. I've been playing Eternal Return a decent amount. Got back in the league. I've been playing set support. Obviously, Genshin Impact. I do my dailies and then kind of log off. And yeah, that's what I've been gaming on. So anyway,
I'm sorry to hear that League has sucked you back up.
Bro, set support is so fun. It will suck you up too if you could just run around being. Well, you play Shaco support, so you know how it is when you're not actually supporting.
Oh yeah. Well, you know why I'm
down there?
Because I played Xerath support, and Kat was like, "You should play Pantheon support. It's the same thing." And I'm like, "It's not. It's not as fun. It's not nearly as fun."
Yeah, it's not even close to the same. What?
No. So he's done. Actually, so was it while we're talking about games that we want to try? I asked the audience this too, and I asked you this. This is an interesting question that I've had before we get to the actual topics. There's a game that's been on my radar for a while that I think is super interesting called Accident. Okay, and the idea is you're like an investigator that comes upon like car accidents, and you try to decide what happened. Like, did somebody fall asleep at the wheel? Was there a car malfunction? Did the airbags deploy? All that stuff, and you have to piece out what happened with the accident. I think that's a really cool idea. I think that's awesome, but I also don't want to play it because my stream is usually making fun of games like this, and this sounds very serious, and I don't want somebody who had had a bad experience with a cart, it might hit a little close to home. So I've been conflicted on this for a long time, and I'm interested not in a making fun of it aspect, but that sounds like an interesting game,
Yes, it does. But yeah, with what you're running, and not to say anything's wrong with people, because I mean, it's a great time to be in there.
No. It's a different vibe.
But yeah, it's just that you can't play serious games, bro.
I don't think so. I really don't think I can.
I think there was a game that was about mental health, and I'm not sure if you were the therapist or if it was just that. I just could not imagine seeing that here.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was
terrible.
It was I played a game called Psychiatrist Simulator or something, but it was so stupid and it was so goofy that it was easy to but if something was serious about that, it would be a problem. So okay, I'll think about it. It's fine, whatever. But so the topics of the day, in case you guys did not see, Cyberpunk 2077 got delayed once again all the way until December 10th, which I think is a 21-day delay, 20-day delay, something like that.
So it was slated to come out
November 20th.
Come out November 19th, actually.
19th,
But
okay.
yeah. So all right, so now you said it's December 10th?
Yep.
Let me move that thing back then, because that's gonna be that's good though, because honestly, I was gonna be so crunched for time between Assassin's Creed and Hyrule Warriors coming out. But it's bad because I'm gonna let Cody take that. Why do you think it's terrible?
I think it's bad, dude. I do. Now, so their reasoning was, they said it's because they're developing for 9 platforms, right? They said that they have to do what? PS4, Xbox One, the new Xbox, PS5, PC, Stadia, and I don't know what the rest are. But they said it was
Switch, though.
Definitely not. Oh God, could you imagine just chugging that thing along at 10 FPS? But yeah, Cyberpunk is basically delayed. They say it's because of all that. So I've been reading a bunch of tweets on it, and honestly, 90% of the time when I hear a game's delayed, I'm like, good, that's great. I'm excited. I'm glad that it's getting delayed because it's going to get polished. It's only going to be better. When a game gets delayed this many times, I'm like, okay, something's wrong. I feel like there's a problem with the game that they haven't fixed, and I don't know what that problem is. It might be gameplay related. It might just not need bells and whistles to be fixed, or it might be something structurally wrong that breaks the game. I don't know. But I feel like there's something going on there because they bragged about it going gold, and they're like, yeah, nothing will stop it. It's definitely coming out November 20th. They tweeted about it. They said, everybody, nothing will stop it now, and now something's stopping it again. I think there's something wrong, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I was watching a decent amount of the the gameplay trailers with some of the people who really break that shit down. And and for how polished and long this game has been hyped, still was some shit that I saw that was it just doesn't sit right. Some of the animations didn't sit right and things like that. And so because of that, I don't think they're going back in the drawing board for that. But yeah, I just something that you said before we got on the call was that 20 days is not going to be enough to fix whatever is the issue, unless it was I don't know, unless it was some weird I don't know, mainframe or graphical glitch that could be fixed really quickly, or or an internet issue that's oh, we just wanted to make sure that our servers are stable or for 20 days. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense. But if you have to overhaul something in the entire game, I don't think 20 days is going to be enough, especially with how long this game has been worked on. This game has almost had the same treatment as Final Fantasy 15, where that game actually was called Versus 2 for a long time, and then it took so long that they got to change the name. So it's I don't know. I'm a little skeptical as well about what happens with these 20 days.
We'll see. I watched some gameplay stuff. I've been trying to keep myself mostly blind, so I haven't tried to catch too much of it, but it looked very I don't know what it's going to do to iterate on Fallout. Because when you think of a third person sort of a loot shooter with narrative elements, I think of Fallout, right? Because Fallout 3, Fallout 4, whatever. The gameplay that I've seen from Cyberpunk, I look at it and I'm like, okay, what are you doing different? and I don't really see much. I mean, they're gonna have some stuff with the augments, with the different things that you can put on your body, which may functionally be the same as like BioShock's tonics or the vigors or whatever they're called in Infinite. But like, I feel like it's the same spiel. Even Dishonored, it's like yeah, it's a shooter, but you got all these different powers and stuff, whatever. But what are you gonna do different? And that's what I haven't had answered for me. And part of me wonders if there is one. And like I don't know. I'm not sold on it yet. I never played Witcher, but everybody that I've talked to said that Witcher's gameplay was super weak. It was just like the narrative elements were super good, which is what made it a good game.
I really, and I'm really starting to hate. Like, I hate that narrative more than anything else when it comes to games. I don't care. Like, the story can be great for sure, but if the gameplay is only serviceable as an A to B mechanic, then I would literally rather watch all the cutscenes just to get the story.
Yeah.
Than to actually slog through your gameplay for a game, and then go about and say the game is amazing after slogging through the gameplay. Like, that's just not. I don't understand how people can continue to say like games are a masterpiece, and then also in the same vein say, well, the gameplay was a little lackluster, but the story is great. So you could say the game story is a masterpiece, but to say the whole game is a masterpiece while disregarding the main point of the game, which is the gameplay, is a weird take to me.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with Cyberpunk. This is all speculation, depending on how good the game actually is. But I'm a little concerned. I mean, like, here's the thing: launching for 9 platforms, including Google Stadia, I get it. That sounds hard as hell. Like, if that's really what it is, that's fine. But this seems very easy to sort of cover up something else that's going on, and maybe it's not going to be good. I don't know. I'm getting No Man's Sky vibes here. I feel like something smells a little.
Well,
fishy.
hold on now. No Man's Sky is actually kind of a bop, according.
3 years later, 4 years later, 5 years later. Jesus.
I should have bought it when it was on sale, bro. I mean, like, there was no way they were gonna release that game and then like not try to fix it. Well, I mean, honestly, who knew? Because like, to be honest, they definitely pulled the wool over a lot of people's eyes. I saw No Man's Sky. I mean, that joint had mad viewers on the first day.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people ended up buying that game only to be let down. But now apparently it's pretty good. And I'm thinking about, getting in there. Seemed like a nice little space odyssey. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see.
Yeah. Well, that leads us into the second talk we were going to have, which is about this crunch culture. Because like they're saying that there's 21 more days, and a lot of some people have said, this is good because the developers want it to crunch as much. And the other side is saying that this makes it even worse because not only are they going to have to crunch up until that point, but also for the day one patch, which always happens, so they're going to have to keep going. Apparently, CD Projekt Red has really good benefits for its employees, though. Like, they get 10% of the however much the game does, and they get paid overtime and blah, blah, blah. So, like, apparently they're not as bad as most people. But at the same time, should you really be cutting it this close with a game anyway? Like where you're working on it this close to release. I know you have to get it out before the holiday, obviously, but I don't know. It's just I feel like there was all that hubbub about Red Dead 2 when it came out, and then everybody realized how good Red Dead 2 was, at least for most people, and they're like, oh, who cares? Let them crunch. I don't care. It's art.
Man, crunch culture and grind culture all together, I feel like they work like in tandem though, because like, yeah, man, like as soon as this game gets put out, people are gonna like, they're going to like find everything they can about it, and like that's just. I know that's part of like being a content creator as well, but just like you can't fall behind, and then also being the first to find stuff is super huge. So mostly, I feel like a lot of people there's 2 sides of that coin though. It's like there's people who want to find stuff to actually help the developer, or there's people who want to find stuff to be like, wow, bro, I can't believe they took this 20 days and didn't even fix this. And it's like, all right. So like even when the game is out, they're still crunching. You know what I'm saying? They still have to like be on high alert for anything that like shows up as a bug that they may need to immediately fix and things like that, so that they don't get 7 million tweets all over and over.
Oh god, yeah.
I think I would much like games to be like finished, and maybe sat and marinated on for like 2 weeks. Give it to a couple people that like, or give it to some media people, give it to some like hardcore game testers, whatever, and like let them play under an embargo or under like a NDA type deal. Can't stream it, but just play the game. Let us know if you find anything weird or whatever. And then, but like at least the game already feels completely finished. There's nothing they have to overhaul. So like, guy comes back and he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm in this one area. The camera's kind of weird here or whatever," and it kind of got me glitching through the walls. Seems like something they can like fix relatively easy. But if it's like this game comes out and somehow like the main infrastructure of the game is somehow broken because whoever was there testing it in-house didn't see like big issues, that could be a super huge issue. And I think that's where like I would much like games be kind of like finished before we and almost I think that kind of like plays into like the whole early access thing. Like early access is cool, but sometimes I feel like it's almost like everything's early access now, so you never get that hype of like when a game is like fully released. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hate early access. That's the whole reason I didn't play Hades for so long, is because like I wanted to wait for the actual release, and then the actual release came out and it was amazing. But like I had the issue with Dead Cells.
You're so far behind now, though. So
well, like, yeah, but I mean, if I really like it, yeah. I think if I really like it, I'll pound through it. I chug games. I don't like sip them. So like my problem was I beat Dead Cells in like 3 days, and it was like come back later for more. I'm like, no thanks, and I just never played it again. And then now the game's been released and has all this DLC, but I don't care. I don't want to play it anymore. And I feel like it's similar for these things. I would just rather have a game like come out, especially if it's a AAA game. Also, what's interesting, it sounded like you were talking about a technical beta. Guess what I got into my email today was a technical beta, an exclusive beta for Fall Guys Season 2. And I'm like, huh?
Isn't that already out?
That's literally out. I don't know what they're gonna do. Like, I don't know if they have extra stuff. It was like, and I'm looking at it, and it's like all the stuff that you see is gonna be under NDA. I'm like, what am I gonna see? What are you gonna show me? It's like there's a PBE for a game, which I don't know. I might check it out, but we'll see.
A PBE for
Fall Guys. Maybe there's a million new games. I don't know. Maybe they have like a billion new mini games. Hell yeah, I'd be down for that.
I mean, they need something, because Fall Guys really has fallen off comparative to like a lot of the like right now their Twitch rivals are doing Spellbreak, which was also another game that like had a lot of early access. It's crazy to me that some of these early access games, I feel like they almost die in early access and still managed to make it out, because Spellbreak had like that game is, I've heard that name for at least 2 years. But like I remember one of the Redacteds, not Smash Redacted, but one of the Redacteds was playing a bunch of it.
Told me to play it, the same guy. Yep.
And then out of nowhere, he just flipped on the game and said it was trash, and then I saw no one playing it ever again. And so I got into Spellbreak relatively late. And from what I played, it was fun, but apparently I missed like a wave of when it was like really bad. But like even so, I still have certain issues with Spellbreak. Well, I think a BR that has progression system is kind of weird, but other than that, like it's a pretty solid game.
BR with a progression system? What do you mean?
All right, so if you play like there's certain passives that you get in the game from playing that like glove, and some of those passives are busted. It's like one of the passives is like immune to freeze and electric shock, which like then makes Ice Gauntlet's ass, and it also makes Electric Gauntlet's not as useful, because like the whole reason you want to play Ice Gauntlet is to freeze someone so you can do a big damage. So if they just immune to it, then what's the point? I mean, like it still does, like the ice is basically the sniper gauntlet, so it still does decent damage, but like I think passives like that should only be picked up within the game.
Gotcha. Okay.
And not something that you can just equip before you even jump down. I think that's pretty weird. And that also works hard against new players, because they have to, like, if you're a new player, you don't have those passives. So now you're in there in this game getting dumpstered on by veteran players, not only because they're better than you, but also because they have better skills than you, or
they've just played
passives
more
than you. Yeah. So it's just, I don't know.
That's
not a good. That does not leave a good taste in my mouth. That's all I know. But yeah, no. So I mean, that's crunch culture. I don't think we're ever gonna get past it, because there's so many ways to make that work. Early access kind of feeds into it, because like all that does is that's like wide beta testing. So now people will tell you like, also it's the easy way to put out your unfinished game. and
Very easy. Yep.
still get like accolades and shit. Fucking what is that? Fortnite was in early access. I'm thinking it might still be in early access. I'm not even sure,
For
but
all
like
we
that,
know, yeah.
like
Well,
that game was a completed game in early access forever.
Well, the problem is like I really like early access as an idea, like as a concept. I think it's really good. But the problem is that games do abuse it, and it's like you're not using this to help develop systems or try to make the game better. Like Hades did. Hades made the game way better with early access because it was from a trusted developer. But so many people give you like a little tiny like piece of cheese, and they're like, okay, this is good, let us know how to make it better, and then you play it and you're like, oh my god, this is amazing, this tastes delicious. But there's nothing else to it. That's the whole thing, and they didn't really plan for it to get as popular as it was, and I don't know, it creates issues.
It's a double-edged sword. I think about like early access Risk of Rain, right? Like we still enjoy that game because it was just like it was just a repeat. You just keep going and going, right?
Yeah.
And then like now that full game is out, it's cool. You know, you got a little boss, that's nice. But the core of the gameplay is still relatively the same, and I enjoyed it before. I played RoboQuest. I enjoyed RoboQuest. It was like Gunfire Reborn. RoboQuest has 2 areas right now in its early access, and because I beat it in like 4 or 5 hours, I don't feel like I'm ever gonna go back. I don't care about the new updates because like that was just that's too short of an early access. Gunfire Reborn had early access, but there was 4 areas, and each of those areas had you have 3 areas in each of the 4 areas, so you play for a bit. This game is like, I mean, like I literally sped through, and I don't know, man. Like I couldn't imagine me picking it back up later just to see what the third boss is after already playing the first 2 bosses, and I've gathered everything in the game too as far as the upgrades. It's just that is too early of an access. I think sometimes how early is too early. That's it right there. So, all right.
I think we kind of got away from the crunch topic that we were talking about, but it sucks.
Whoops.
It sucks.
Whoops.
We both
here we
know
go. All right, so we can go ahead and start with the viewer questions. We got Palace SSB saying, "What's your ideal game length for an average game?"
Average game?
I'm gonna say 10 hours. I think 10 hours is a good sweet spot of like all right. So let's say 10 hours for like an adventure game or action adventure game. 10 hours is like where if I don't feel like I've made progression in that time, I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah, 10 to 12 is what I would say. It's funny because we were talking about Crash Bandicoot on an earlier episode. I played, I think, about 12 to 15 hours of Crash 4, and I was really liking it. And, like, I thought it was wrapping up. But then no spoilers, but then, like, the worlds keep opening up, and I'm like, oh my god, Jesus Christ. And part of it was my fault because, like, the game is built in such a way, and this is really the problem with Crash in general, where, like, you don't know if you're getting all the boxes until the end. So you could spend 10 minutes on a level trying not to die less than 3 times, and then you get to the end, it's like, oh, you missed a couple, and it's very annoying. I know this is neither here nor there, but I can tell you, as soon as that level opened up and I realized I'd be playing more than like 10 to 15 hours, I was like, okay, I'm out. You just check out. And I feel like a lot of games do that. I'm 10 to 12 hours. 10 to 12 hours generally. If it's more than that, you got to really hook me in.
Yeah, and now I know you guys all know me for roguelikes, and I put very much like a lot of hours in those. That's different. I'm talking about like a game that you get to, from point A to point B, and, beginning to end. Like I need that's a 10 to 12 hour experience. RPGs.
Yeah, there is a difference because like if I played a 10-hour Souls game, because I love the Souls games, I would be like frustrated. I'd be like, what the hell is this? But
I think RPGs are probably like 45 hours. If I don't feel like I'm close to the end in about 40 hours, I probably don't want to play anymore. So
but one of the things is I think it depends on the name too, because like if it's a Final Fantasy game, I want it to be 30, 40 hours because that's Final Fantasy's brand. But like so like if I play a Souls game, I want it to be, 30, 35, 40 hours. If I play like Mortal Shell, which was supposed to be like a Souls ripoff basically, I want that to be 8 to 10. Because that's not a Souls game. You don't have as many ideas. You're not going to. So just give me a more unique like thing in a different way, and then I'll play that and I'll enjoy it all the way through rather than trying to stretch it out.
It was crazy. The PS5 was like literally right around the corner, and I'm just still thinking it feels like I'm getting no news about it anymore. No.
I know. Yeah. It's really weird. It's really weird how it doesn't feel like I don't feel like we're like 3 weeks away from a console launch. I don't Maybe it's because we're older now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I had mine on pre-order. It's a little November 12th, 2020 is when it comes out, and I'm just here, like, like, okay, cool.
How'd you
All
get a
right, well,
pre-order? I need to get one.
I got GameStop homies, bro.
Oh, where do I get a GameStop homies?
You gotta go sit in the GameStop, like, hey man, you need friends, bro.
Hey, I'm a streamer. Wear my Twitch hoodie. Hey, everybody.
All right, so
God, I gotta figure it out because I've been so focused on the 3080, which I know I'm never gonna get now.
same, but I mean, if it wasn't for the GameStop homies, I wouldn't have either. So.
Oh my God. All right, I'll try to get it.
All right, Obi-Wan Kuropi says, y'all gaming. Video games can serve as multifaceted tools. They can be used for learning, social interaction, exercise, coping mechanisms, careers, entertainment, rehabilitation, etc. Why do you think that these important positive benefits are so often overlooked?
Because they're hard to make. If you can make an extremely inclusive, very helpful infotainment game, and nobody's gonna play it because you're gonna spend so much time trying to like. Here's the thing: you have to make the game fun, right?
Well, I mean, even that, I just don't think most people are looking for games for that reason. Like, I mean, I remember, like, we all remember, math blasters or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and we all played that game. Like, well, I don't know about we all, because some of y'all might be too young, but back in my day, when I was in middle in elementary school, there was this math game where you were like a spaceman and you did like math problems to like beat the boss and like advance and stuff. That's great. Is that going to be a multi-million-dollar game? Hell no, because that only applies to people in school. Like, you're not going to be at home like, you know what I'm trying to play right now, bro?
I need to learn some mathematics.
So it's a very hard demographic to like push. Like your base sales are going to be like teachers. You know what I mean? And not every teacher is going to be cool like that. You know what I mean? So like it's just. I don't know. I think that's just a hard thing to push for sure.
I think you can do it if it's fun. Like I think so. One of the reasons that everybody loves Celeste is because Celeste is fun as hell, and it has some very strong messages in there. I mean, if you care to look for them, obviously about perseverance and mental health and blah blah blah, all the same stuff. But do you know how many games I've played that are about mental health that are just bad? That are just really bad, and they're just like, no, but this is a serious game about anxiety. I'm like, I don't care, I'm bored. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not trying to be insensitive, but you with all this stuff, if you're gonna make the game try to have a meaning or a message, you should still make it either fit in with the gameplay or make it compelling to play. It's not enough to make it deep or interesting. You have to have it. It has to be sort of able to stand on its own two legs, which is why Celeste was so good and other games were not. But it's hard to do both because, Depression Quest, there's a lot, Last of Us 2. I mean, like, there's a lot of examples of that. I spoiled myself on something at the end of The Last of Us 2 involving the guitar, and I was like, oh, that's a really cool idea. I love the fact that they put that in the game. I wish I could have gotten to that point, but I didn't because it was so boring. And that's the problem, is like you can either invest all your time in the messaging or you can invest your time into the gameplay. But I feel
Wait, are you talking about her not being able to play anymore?
Wow, you spoiled it. That's crazy.
It doesn't matter, dude. That joint has been out forever, bro. If you wanted to play it by now, you would have played it. Anyway.
I thought that was a really cool thing, though. The fact that her quest for revenge made it so she lost the one thing that connected her to the person she... I thought that was really cool, and I'm like, wow, good job, Neil. But I never got to that point because I got bored.
I think that there's a decent amount of games that do have like messages like that, though. I mean, even with Nier, there was messages about like social injustices and things like that. I think all that's very cool, but I don't think that was the selling point. You know what I'm saying? And like, so you can spec that into your games for sure. But to start with the selling point of, all right, man, this game deals with depression. Most people are going to be like, all right, I'm already depressed. I'm good. Like, you know what I mean? like I don't need to live it in my fantasy world.
I play that game every day, bro. Come on.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's just a little hard for that to work. But I mean, I do like seeing games like that. I do like seeing games that are a little more conscious. I just don't know how to market them myself to get more people to see it as like a multi-million-dollar AAA title type game. So
yeah.
Well, what the? Hold on, bro. I just see some Herman Lee got banned, and it says, "Oh man, guys, don't play your music on stream if you don't own your music. If you gave it to someone to distribute it for you, you may not own your music. It's crazy, but just don't do it." Okay, so I guess this guy played his own music and then he got banned.
Got him.
Bro, that's I'm good.
Get
Anyway,
his ass. Get him.
Mackagen says Hades is a $25 game. Is better than any $60 game made this year.
Stop.
That was his gaming opinion.
Stop. You played it the most recent. I don't know if it's better, but come on, that's mad recency bias. What else came out this year? There was a lot of good stuff. Final Fantasy.
I mean, the people.
7?
This is where the people were arguing. So someone said, "Are we counting deluxe editions as their own game?" And then he said, "Because Persona 5 Deluxe is 60." And then he comes, and the other guy says, "And Xenoblade Chronicles DE." And then that guy says, "Pretty sure we proved that that there were some $60 games this year that were better than Hades." And then Mackagen says, "Nah, I said what I said." And then Hugh Poppy says, "Nah, Hades isn't as good as P5R or Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition." And then Mackagen says, "You're right, it's better by far."
Wow, at that. So people
Listen,
are just swinging at each other.
So this is the thing, though. We're not counting remakes. Stop counting remakes as new games. Like that's not all you got. That's like extra DLC on top of a game that you've already played. We're not gonna do that. Like I'm not gonna compare Xenoblade Chronicles DE to any game that is a new IP when Xenoblade Chronicles has been out for at least 7 years now. When did that game first come out? Hold on. Xenoblade Chronicles release date. It's been a while. 2010. It's been out for 10 years. Okay, so we can stop talking about it like it's a new game. It's not. I mean, there's probably some new stuff in there that's great and some quality of life buffs. It's not a new game.
You know, I have 38 hours in Hades. Mm-hmm. I have 102 hours in Fall Guys. So like, you know,
you don't even like Fall Guys anymore, though.
That's true. but I'm just saying, and I definitely would call Hades a better game, but the time is kind of, and on top of that, you gotta, like, Hades is stream poison for me. Fall Guys was lucrative for a while, so like there's a little bit in there, but still, it's like, I don't know. I'm looking at other games that came out this year. I mean, Hades is near the top, but is it better than Doom? I don't know. Doom Eternal was very good. Very, 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 very good. So
I can't think. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, it's a good game.
This year's been so long.
It's a good game for sure. Yeah. But like, I mean, it's a good game for sure. I just don't know if I could be like, bro, like, you know, like that's not really where I'm at right now. So, let me make sure I'm not missing any questions because they're all scattered all over the place. I can't believe this guy's really just arguing. All right, here we go. Y'all gaming. Might have had this question asked, but I want to ask anyways. Seeing as it's almost Halloween, do you have any scary games that you enjoy? A personal favorite of mine is Resident Evil.
The first one, really?
He just says Resident Evil. I don't know if there's probably some number on there. He just didn't say it.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Silent Hill games. I haven't played 1, but I've played 2 through 4, and then I also played Shattered Memories on the Wii, I think, or something. I played a bunch of those, but 2 through 4 are all very good, so I would highly recommend those.
Okay. The Milk Monster, interesting name, says #y'all gaming. Indies are becoming much better standalone gaming experiences than AAA games. Partly from them trying to make a game. Partly from them trying to make a game instead of a game as a service.
That's true. That part's true. I feel like a lot of these games are like they're trying to create platforms before the game is even made. You know what I mean? They're trying to get you to play it like consistently throughout a long period of time. That's the whole thing with I talk about this all the time. I'll never forget that Darwin Project thing at E3 where they had like the shoutcasters talking about the game and like trying to make it esports or whatever. Indie games just don't have the scale for that or the scope for it.
I think the issue with indie game is like, it's the stigma behind it. Everyone's always looking for the next AAA game, even if they don't even like the developer. Like every time Street Fighter 5 came out and everyone was all upset, and look how many people are still playing Street Fighter 5. You know what I mean? Yep. Like, oh man, this isn't 4. Anyway, I'm gonna keep playing. So like that just goes with the title. Like you get to the area of being a AAA, then people will pay attention to you. And it sucks because there are some really, really, really good indie games out there that will just never get that shine because of the word indie. So, I mean, obviously I love indie games because I play indie games almost exclusively now on my Switch. Like I feel like there's not really a lot of AAA or Nintendo games that I'm playing as of right now. I mean, it's Smash. Sometimes I'll fire some Splatoon. Other than that, it's mostly indie games. But I don't know if they're making better. I just think there's more indie games coming out, so it's easier to say that you're playing more indie games that you feel are better than AAA games.
Yep.
Because of the sheer scope of indie games that are coming out. A new indie game releases like once every 5 hours, dude.
Yeah, it's you can't keep up with all of them, and they're so unique and they give such different experiences that it feels like they're better, but you don't you only remember the really good stuff. I just recently stopped about halfway through this Metroidvania that I'm playing called Kunai. It's pretty good, but it's not great. It's got a very cool art style, but it's not that interesting. It's I'm not gonna remember that. But if I played Hollow Knight for the first time, I'd be like, oh my god, this is life changing. So you're thinking about the stars, but you're not thinking about all the 7 out of 10s. I think that's all.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen this game. Yeah,
it's okay.
It looks like a solid okay experience. So, anyway. And then we got another one here from Basic Outrage. Basic Outrage says, games that have gameplay revolving around grind, like Genshin and Destiny, to get better gear, have to strive a balance for that grind to be fun and not be a pain in the ass. What do you guys think is a perfect example of a good grind or an example of a terrible grind? And the Milk Monster actually came back and said, good grind is Monster Hunter, as the grind is really rewarded by strong game fundamentals, helping the later game immensely. I can agree with that. For Monster Hunter World, I enjoyed that grind. I enjoyed making every Switch Axe weapon, and I didn't need to. I just wanted to, and so that feels good. Genshin, I feel like Genshin's grind later on actually kind of grinds to a halt, but that's because it is gacha games, so they're going to try to get money out of you. Makes sense for me. Sucks, but I mean I get why it is, and I can't really think of any other game. Well, you know what's a terrible grind game? Octopath Traveler. That was a terrible grind game.
I did not play
that did not feel rewarding at all to play 8 different stories and they never really matched up. So I'm good on that.
I feel like grinding is only as good as you can only make grinding interesting if the rest of the game can support it and hold it up. I hate grinding in games. I absolutely hate it, but I will actually like it and enjoy it if I like traveling the world enough. Spider-Man is an example of this. I got the Platinum Trophy in Spider-Man, and most of it was just beat up these robbers, it's petty crimes. Go across the city and beat up these common thugs. And it's okay. But I liked it because traversing the world was cool enough, and it felt cool to move in it. In Red Dead 2, which we just talked about, I kind of like grinding stuff. And it's not fun. It's you have to get 4 bears, 3 rabbits, and then you have to go to the spot and hope that they spawn, and sometimes they don't. I spent hours looking for these goddamn buffalo. It's it's not really fun, but I like it because the world is so compelling and interesting that I'm okay with it. But there's always the chance that your motivation just can drop off a cliff out of nowhere. That happens a lot. In fact, that happened to me in Hades. I felt like I wasn't making any progression. The heat system was annoying me, and it's all right, well, I'm done here. So I haven't booted it up in 3 weeks now. And I like the game, but it just, I thought I saw all I had to see. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
grinds will always have a risk of just pushing the player too far, I think. I think grinding as needed for story progression is awful. I hate that.
But yeah. I mean, it happens. I think when it comes down to certain games too, there's certain aspects of games that I've just kind of grown out of. I don't like random encounters in RPGs anymore. Let me see the enemy. Let me choose if I want to scrap them. I'm probably going to want to scrap them. Yeah. But also, if I need to go somewhere quickly, I would like to be able to avoid those people too. And that just random encounters in games for me has been that's pretty much, that's always going to be a negative point for me now. I'm pretty over that. So, and one of my favorite RPGs is Chrono Trigger, and that's what that game is like too. But I don't know, man. Like, if that came out now, I would hope that I could like see the enemies in scrap instead.
There's I started playing Final Fantasy VII, and I just sort of fell off it. I haven't been doing it, but on the Switch, there's a speed up, which is a lifesaver. You click in the stick, and it goes at like I think 3 times speed, and I'm like, oh my god, thank God. I still stopped playing because it's still I don't know, old games just don't hit as much, but yeah.
I forgot. Chrono Trigger's not the random counter one. I'm thinking of something else.
Oh no.
Yeah, but it's just I know the Octopath had it, and I hated that, and also I didn't play any of most of the Final Fantasies for that exact reason too. So
yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah. So, with that being, I think we have like one more question in here. Hold on.
Do we?
I'm looking. Oh, here we go. The Wood push block said, people need to stop asking for countless remakes of games that are already good and available to play on widespread hardware. We should start asking for remakes of games with huge potential, but either hardware limitations or other flaws held back and can be fixed. I can agree with that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it depends on what you mean by inaccessible hardware, because like a PS2 game is mad hard to play now because PS2 can't go to HDMI, and then you've got all these other issues. So like, how far back are we talking? If you mean like a PS3 or an Xbox game, like the issue is nobody's gonna want to buy that whole system just for a remake. But then again, a lot of these things are on digital storefronts. So like, if you want, I'm trying to think of an example. If you want something upgraded just for like a graphical upgrade, yeah, you don't need that. But a lot of other things you just can't play. Like, that's why I think a lot of people were complaining about the Mario 3D All-Stars thing. I get why people were mad, but at the same time, it's like, for the large majority of people, you're not going to get an emulator. You're not going to have an N64 sitting in your closet. Having a 64 game and a GameCube game and a Wii game all on a Switch is really cool. You know, like you could, they should have done more, I think, but the fact that they didn't, you know, for most people, they're going to be fine.
I've stopped liking remakes for a long time, and like, and the thing is that like most of the stuff that like, I think that's just me in general as a person. I don't like replaying games multiple times like that. Like, I've definitely replayed a decent amount of Zeldas just because, but like, I don't, that like, if I've already got the experience once and I've done everything, I don't really feel like I need to do it again. Like, if I went through Ocarina of Time, you know, grabbed all the hearts, got all the swords, or got the Goron sword, all that good stuff, and you know, did all the side missions. I have the nostalgia for me is not doing that again. Like, that was a good game,
yeah, and
I played it and I completed it, and now I'm gonna move on. And that's why I just don't really care too much about remakes. Like, now remasters, depending on what the game is, like remakes, remasters, it really depends on what the game is. Like, as far as like, well, I think that's what I'm saying. I don't like remasters more than I like dislike remakes, because remakes, they can actually change some stuff up. Like Final Fantasy VII, that remake was godlike. It was played in a different way. You still got the story, and there's coming out with more of it. I never wanted to play Final Fantasy traditionally, but an action RPG remake is dope. Yeah. Now, if they just gave me Final Fantasy as a remaster with updated graphics as an RPG from Final Fantasy, like the original, I'm skipping that. I don't want to do that. Like, that does not make me want to play if I already didn't want to play before. And if I beat it and I spent a lot of time on it before, then I don't want to do it again. I think the only time I want like a remake is for like, I don't know, sillier games. Like if Pokemon Stadium 2 and 1 mini games were bundled into a game, and it was, I would buy that for sure. Yeah. Like I would, 1 and 2 mini games bundled into a game, HD graphics, I would buy the shit out of that. But if you're gonna like repackage Pokemon Stadium 1 and in HD graphics, but I only get the first 150 Pokemon, I'm not rebuying that. Like, I'm not gonna get that. Like, that's just that's going back in time for nostalgia for no reason. I'm good.
I think you have to do something special to it. So like Tony Hawk 1 and 2 just came out, and that was actually really good. It was really well made. But the main sell there were just kind of the graphics, and it just looks really pretty. And the gameplay still holds up as much as it did then. You either have to do something really interesting with sort of bringing it to the next gen like that with the graphics and the gameplay is good enough to stand on its own, or you bring the gameplay into a new, like you make adjustments to the gameplay that weren't available back then that make the game better now. Like Resident Evil 2 kind of did that. It made the graphics better, yeah, but it also changed a lot of the things like the inventory management and all the bad crap that comes with the old Resident Evil games that I think made it more interesting. So it can go either way, but yeah, I agree. There's no reason to retread old ground in most situations.
Yeah, I finally figured out what I was thinking, dude. It was so in Chrono Trigger, the encounters aren't random. Like you're not just running around and then like you get pulled into a screen.
Yeah.
But like enemies will like be hiding behind like bushes and stuff. So like you'll like walk by and then they'll be like, "What's good?" Yeah. And like that, I guess I like that a little more because it's like I might have been able to avoid that if I was looking. But like when I'm just like trying to run and then the screen just like Pokemon, like old Pokemon, when you're just like, all right, I'm in a cave, I'm moving, I want to get out of this cave. 2 steps ahead of the cave, you get hit by another encounter. I don't want to like just let me leave. You know what I mean? Like, just let me leave. That. So I don't know. Those games of when I was younger, I could do that for sure. But now that I'm older, I hate chance or I hate random encounters like with a passion. So
for sure.
Anyway, I think that's gonna be it for us, guys. I'm pretty sure we answered all your questions today. Make sure you hit the follow button here on Prediction Esports.
Do it.
And if you want to see this video later, it will be on my YouTube. But if you want to listen to our podcast, I know we rambled a little bit today, but we do be talking about gaming.
We truly do.
You can come through on our Apple podcast or our Spotify podcast, as those links will be going up very soon. You got any final words, bro?
Nope. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back next week for another episode on Tuesday of Y'all Gaming, the only show where we ask, are y'all gaming? I'm going to be streaming tonight. I assume you will too. Are you done for the day?
I might. It depends. I might check out that Ghost Runner because it's it came through the inbox. I might as well. I got to go pick up my glasses now though. So got some new glasses, baby. It's time. Anyway, thank y'all for watching. If you always use the hashtag y'all gaming so that way we can see what you can use it in the middle of the week too. Like I have the thing set up on my tweet deck so I can always see what's going on. So if you ever have some opinions, and you want y'all gaming to talk about them, make sure you use the hashtag y'all gaming. It's the easiest way for us to find them. Thank y'all for watching. Stay safe, wear a mask, and have a good night.
See you next time.